Hello friends, warm welcome to you all to the channel World of Zoology. This is our next lecture on the topic instrumentation, and the sub-part or the subunit is spectroscopy. We'll consider same with respect to introduction, principle and application of the instrument spectrophotometry. Spectroscopy, the term deals with the interaction of electromagnetic radiation with the matter. The instrument is used for this purpose, which is in effect consists of the two instruments, spectrometer and photometer. The former, that is spectrometer, produces an electromagnetic radiation, that is spectrum of light of desired wavelength, while the photometer, that is later, measures the intensity of that wavelength. It is possible to study the nature of a given substance as it also the strength in terms of its concentration by allowing it to interact with the electromagnetic radiation. This interaction may be achieved either when electromagnetic radiations of certain wavelength or frequency is selectively absorbed in preference to the other wavelength or frequencies. Such method is called as absorption spectroscopy. Alternately, the matter under investigation may be excited thermally to a higher state of energy and then allowed to emit electromagnetic radiation, which is measured. This method is called as emission spectroscopy. In the present text or in the today's lecture, only absorption spectroscopy is considered, for which we'll have to consider the wave parameters. Wavelength lambda is the linear distance between any two equivalent points on the successive wave, that is on successive waves the successive troughs or successive crest. Frequency nu is the number of oscillations of the field that occurs per second. Nu is equal to hc by lambda, where h is the Planck's constant, and that is nothing but 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules per second. C the velocity and E the wavelength of the light. Velocity v of the propagation of the wave is given by multiplying the frequency in reciprocal seconds by wavelength. It must be noted that frequency nu of a beam of light is determined by the source and remains constant as against this. The velocity depends, that is velocity means v, depends upon the composition of the medium through which it passes. Here the wave parameters are shown in the diagram. Wavelength lambda, which is the distance between the two successive crests, and or it may be the distance between the two successive troughs, which is shown in this diagram. Now the diagram of the electromagnetic wave, how it passes on x-axis in the direction which is given, and the distance between the two successive crests is shown, that is nothing but the wavelength lambda. On y-axis electric field is shown, and on z-axis electromagnetic field, how it develops. Particle properties of light, will consider the next point. Light has particle-like properties, has been proved by photoelectric effects studied by the scientist Einstein, for which he got Nobel Prize in the physics in the year 1921. When electromagnetic radiation strikes a polished surface, such as polished metal plate, it ejects electrons. This process of electron ejection depends upon the energy of the individual photon and it doesn't depend upon the intensity of the incident electromagnetic radiations. Since the wave theory could not satisfactorily explain the ejection of the electrons, Einstein proposed that the propagation of the light occurs as a discrete packets of the energy rather than a continuous stream of waves. Each packet is called a photon of light and related to energy by the relation, that is, each packet which is called as photon of light, which is related to energy E by equation E is equal to h nu, where h is the Planck's constant. In terms of wavelength and wave number, the equation could be written as E energy is equal to hc by lambda, or hc nu, where nu bar is equal to 1 by lambda. The term which is wave frequency nu, or 1 by lambda, is called as wave number. Applications of spectrophotometry, that is the last point of our lecture. First application, to estimate the amount of analyte present in the given sample as in the colorimetry. Second application, to gather information about some structural features of the sample under investigation. Third one, to follow progress of a given chemical reaction, which is also known as chemical kinetics, as which is discussed in the colorimetry application. The same is here. Fourth application is to determine the formation of the given chemical species. Here it is assumed that maximum absorption occurs at a given wavelength for a given species. Such wavelength at which maximum absorption occur is known as lambda max. In general, method for such determination would be prepare a series of solutions containing predetermined amount of reactants and measuring the absorbance of such solutions at the lambda max, that is the wavelength at which the maximum absorption occur of a given species. The solution giving maximum absorption must contain the desired chemical species, and so for the composition of the solution at maximum absorption, the formation of species under investigation may be obtained. Fifth one, to perform photometric titration, that is the last function of the spectrophotometry. With this, I have finished the instrument spectrophotometry. Thank you for watching video. If you like the video, do like, share the video for the benefit of the maximum students, and subscribe the channel World of Zoology for the intimation of the next instrument in the topic instrumentation.